Hello, welcome back to Where Canaries Walk. This week, we're talking about a quote from the Pink 'Uns' Connor Southwell. Football is emotional, reactionary. That is why so many of us love the game. But I can't help feel that some of the reaction to Norwich City's recent gains has been over the top after win and draw, to be fair. After so much change on and off the pitch, it was always going to be a process. So our title this week is, Are Norwich City fans overreacting? Let us know your thoughts. We've got Matty, Jacob and Killian back with us. We're also talking, of course, about the worst ever Norwich City shirt. And we're going to do that towards the end. And who do Norwich City fans want to see promoted from the Championship this season from those teams at the top? Let's jump straight into it then. You had some assists from a squirrel as well this week. Here's one of the shirts, by the way, that we could get into. Is that one of the worst? If you think it is, then drop us a like, and we'll get onto that in a minute. Right, Matty, are Norwich City fans going over the top?
Yeah, I actually think I've replied to that tweet from Connor saying, it was either that or another one that was kind of saying that we just kind of need to calm down a little bit. We need to kind of remember what happened after the Watford game. Everyone was like, "Oh, we're going to get top six," and then after a couple of the poor results, but after a couple of poor results in the last three games, everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on? Off Torah Power, blah 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 blah." And it's like, you've got to, if you're going to be so, if you're going to take the ecstasy with the wins, you've got to also be able to take the negativity or the sort of the deflation when you don't get the win. So, yeah, football fans are a fickle bunch, aren't they? And I do feel like we've been very reactionary and kind of very emotive this season. I think people expect a lot, and in such a transition season, I know Killian expects a lot, but in a transition season, I think it's always going to happen that we're gonna win some, we're gonna lose some, and you've got to stick with them and be a bit more level headed than some of our fans are.
Cheers for Matty. You can't, Jacob, say that Norwich are any more mid-table than this, can you? Won 11, drawn 11, lost 11, 44 points, and 12th in the Championship. Yeah. Do you think that's contributing to how fans are feeling? Do you feel that, there's an expectation from some fans that Norwich, we are Norwich City, we should not be 12th?
Yeah, this season's been a roller coaster of emotions. We've gone from beating teams 4-2 and 6-1 to losing 3-0 to a team that was near the bottom, and 12 sums up really with very consistent points across the board with those losses, draws and wins. To have 11 of each just sums up this season basically. And we hear the word transition and process chucked around quite a lot, and we do need to accept that this is a transition season and we cannot expect top 2, top 6 automatically. So I think next season is going to be a push for that, but definitely not this season.
No. Killian, where do you stand on this? Because we'll look at a tweet in a minute that says, "I'm sick of hearing the word transition. If Sargent and Saints go, then we're going to be in transition next season as well. So come on, let's have it right."
Yeah, I mean, I think it's we're very inconsistent. So I think we need to get more consistency, and that's, I think, shows in the results. It's impossible to get. I mean, I'm glad I'm not a gambler, because I'd never win, because you can never tell what's going to happen with an Norwich team or what team's going to show up. But we're still only 4 points off the playoffs, and I haven't looked how close we are to relegation. But it's a very tight league, and I think it's shown that anybody can beat anybody almost. So.
Do you think fans need to calm down then, Killian, or do you think they're right to have a go?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a reaction to a result or a performance. I try and remain optimistic. Obviously, the best in any game, but I think people are entitled to their opinion. But I think there's no point in getting overly excited by a win or a loss.
Okay. We'll have a look at the whole game in particular then. First of all, let's just shout out the fans, because I tell you what, travelling up to Hull on a Saturday afternoon is no mean feat, especially from Norwich. But I tell you what, Matty, that away end was packed. You may not have many midfielders, but you've definitely got the support, as Rob says.
Yeah, no, it's a fair comment. And Rob's position from the gantry often gets those nice pictures. It's strange, isn't it? Norwich City fans, home and away, have been okay. We might not be the loudest at home, but in terms of percentage of capacity of stadium, we're up there, and we travel pretty well in numbers away. And that's the only thing that I kind of look with this season and recent seasons. I think the travelling away fans do maybe deserve a bit more. in terms of the effort, the money. Killian's a perfect example of the time and the effort that's put into it. But as Killian also says, I wouldn't be banking on Norwich this season. You never know what you're going to get, and yet we turn up regardless, don't we? So that's part and parcel of following your club, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jacob, you had a bit of an assist this week from this bizarre video I've seen. I've seen cats on pitches and dogs. I've never seen a squirrel assisting a goal. Going to squirrels aside, a good finish from Sarge. Squirrel whipped in a perler, and Jack, very good Jack. This is nuts. A great goal from Sargent there again.
Yeah, he's just ever since he's come back, he's been showing what we needed. I think it was Swansea he scored 2, and that just shows how much we needed him, as Cernak just was not cutting it. And I've got to say, the assist from Fisher was really good. I think he's been given a lot of criticism by Norwich fans as he's been not getting up as much of the ball, not creating chances, but that was a perfect example of how you can turn things around. So fair play to Fisher and the squirrel, obviously.
Graham wasn't happy though, Killian. He says that's 7 points we've lost in 3 games. It's not good enough. We shouldn't be outside the top 6 all season. Instead, we can't even get into it. It's a really poor attitude at this club currently. What do you think he means by that attitude? Where was he picking that up from?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think the Preston game was, we didn't show up and was really poor. That's possibly where it's coming from. I thought Derby played well in their game against us. And I thought we did okay against Hull. I think we are missing some of the more senior players. So I thought a lot of the young lads put in a good shift against Hull, and we probably should have won it. But just probably not good enough on the day. And that squirrel, I don't think, travelled back on the bus. I think I saw him climbing a tree outside the stadium.
Brilliant. A point is a point. I think we would have won it had we had any McLean, Nunes or Macondes available, Matty.
Completely agree. McLean's a massive loss. Was midweek, was the weekend. Nunes makes us take a Macondes. Yeah, a huge loss. Considering we got him, what was it? Maybe October, September, obviously on a free transfer. The results, or even just the way that we look in possession without him, or with and without him, there's a stark contrast. So yeah, if you put those 3, who would all start for me, if you put those 3 in that team, I don't think Wright, Slimani, or I don't want to even speak about Sorensen, to be honest, but Wright, Sorensen and Slimani probably don't start if all 3 of those others are fit. And I reckon we'd have won yesterday if all 3 of them had played, yeah.
All right, thank you very much you for that. Just to finish off the original debate, Jacob, this was the tweet I was referring to. Frank says, when your top goal scorer, Saints, and best striker in the league, Sargent, are sold in the summer, what season will next year be? Even more transition. The project is a code word for accepting losses. The team right now is the best it will ever be in the championship, and people don't realise that. Has Frank got a point, Jacob?
Yeah, he does, because we've been saying it's a transition season, but what's next for us? If I think we will lose Sargent and Sainz, because I can't see them staying for another season, just like we lost Sarah, as he's not going to play championship football for another season. But then again, it's up to who we bring in. If we bring in some potential young attacking threat, then it could be whatever the second one was. Or if we don't do very well, it'll be a transition season again, which I don't really want it to be, as next season I want us pushing for top 6.
Sorry, I was muted. So Stoke City next, Killian, then. They are a very hard side to predict what's going to happen. Away from home, they haven't been good. It's a Mark Robbins side. How do you approach this one?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one to call. Look, if you look at obviously Mark coming back and Ben Gibson, who doesn't seem to be getting into the side since Mark took over. So who knows if he'll turn up. He was always good for maybe an odd mistake here and there when he played for us. But yeah, they're a difficult team to predict, and I really think we need our home form back. So hopefully one of the 3 that Matty mentioned there will be fit again, at least one of them. Maybe Kenny might be back. I just think our last 2 home games haven't been great, and we were on a good run at home, a difficult side to beat. So hopefully we will lift it. I think the fan base will turn. I think if we don't have a good result against Stoke, so I think it's a pretty important match.
All right, fingers crossed for that. Okay, let's have a look then at starting with our predictions for the next couple of weeks as who's going up. Let's talk about the top four. Matty, sorry, that's not what I want. That's the one I want. Matty, from your impressions of what you've seen so far, there's lots of chat about who deserves to go up and the style of play and so on. And these four are falling out with each other in terms of fan bases. Who do you believe, as a Norwich fan, deserves to go up based on what you've seen?
I don't want to sound like a cliche or someone who said something for the sake of things, but I don't believe in anyone deserving to go up, because if you look at last season, Leeds probably deserved to go up and didn't on the points total they finished on, and football's a cruel mistress, isn't it? And they didn't go up. Out of those four, do you know what? Sunderland, fair play to them. Like, I didn't see this coming. With the team that they've got, the signings that they made, they've got a young team. That's fair play for them to be fourth and still within a shout of going up in the automatics. And Leeds as well, I think, they go about it the right way. Obviously got that soft spot for Farker. So in an ideal world, if I could not predict, but if I could, out of any of them four, sort of predict the first and second in the automatics, it would probably be Leeds and Sunderland, to be honest. Sheffield United, I can't stand Wilder. Don't like their fans. Burnley are boring under Scott Parker, so I'm bored of them. So for me, Leeds and Sunderland would be nice. And it would also shut the Borough fans up as well if Sunderland went up. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? So.
Okay. Killian?
Yeah, I couldn't really argue with that logic. I do think Leeds have been the best team I think we've played, and I do think they deserve to go up. I know there's been a lot of chatter between Leeds and Sheffield, and them calling Sheffield lucky. And you look at the goal difference, I think they have been lucky. But I'd like to see Sunderland go on their own. Burnley have been quite a boring side to watch, and I think Sheffield have been quite lucky, certainly against us. So I'd say Leeds and Sunderland as well.
Jacob, agree?
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Leeds and Sunderland to go up, as Sunderland have done really well with their young players, especially selling Jack Clark to Ipswich down the road, and he's not been very good for them. And they've really done well with the business. They've brought in, can't remember who it was, this young attacker from AS Roma, I think, and then I would say fair play to Sheffield United, though. I think they started the season on -2 points, and to be where they are is really good for them, even though they have scraped a lot of points along the road. But yeah, Leeds and Sunderland for me.
Okay, good shouts. Right, thank you for still being with us. Drop us a like. We're trying to get to 100 likes, especially because we're talking about Norwich's worst shirts. And I think of all the clubs that I've looked at for this, you guys have by far the breadth of shockers that I have seen. Killian, you're wearing one that it's how do you describe it? Is it petrol? Is it
petrol, green, I think, and yellow and blue, and all sorts of colours? A real mix.
I quite like that though. Is that
yellow,
what a favourite is?
Yellow lines and white lines. It's
yeah. All right. So I mean, I don't think can we beat this? Is this that is folklore, isn't it? This one.
That's Norwich rugby shirt, huh?
That's Stoke away. Howson scored an absolute worldie wearing that kit. Stoke away in the Premier League, and Gary O'Neill got sent off. I think that was the game. It reminds me of something someone in McDonald's would wear from a few years ago. McDonald's had a similar sort of shirt. Yeah.
Got a couple more. Going a little bit older back in time here. I mean, who designed this? It looks like something
That's great. I love that one.
That's nice. Jeremy Goss.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's class.
This doesn't scream Norwich. I mean, okay, you can go with the patterns, but this does not say Norwich. Jacob, you having this as good or bad?
When it first came out, I didn't like it, but then I think it kind of grew on me how it was different, something unique, something we haven't had in a long time. So I wouldn't say it's that bad.
Killian, I've got to come to you for this one. Isn't if this is a genuine? Is this a genuine shirt that people have sent me? Did Norwich have an away shirt that was blue once?
Yeah, I think they must have, and it's yeah. I mean, somebody clearly wasn't well in the head.
Yeah. Wouldn't happen now, would it? This is a monstrosity, Matty. This is like your grandma's pajamas. Used to stay over and see you in a nightdress.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't hate it. Obviously, that you referenced the 93 kit, the egg and cress one. That's kind of like paying homage to that, I guess, with that sort of egg and cress effect. I don't know if it was at a away kit. I think it might have been a third kit. I kind of like it because it's kind of hideously beautiful.
Some shockers. And Colin, did you have a red one as well to hold up as well? Did you?
Yeah, which I don't know. I mean, just apart from having red and yellow, and it's also got a blue, horrible blue label on the side of it. Right.
Can't have anything blue, can we? Have we missed any? Let us know in the comments below. That'd be great. Right, enjoy the game against Stoke, you lot. We'll review it in 7 days' time. Thank you very much for joining us. Do drop us a like and subscribe, and have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us.